Now in the previous section, we learned to create variables and assign values to them. Now these values can be of different types, right? So these can be numbers, and within numbers there can be integers or with decimal points. We can assign text or string values. We can have logical values such as true or false. We might be dealing with categorical data or qualitative data, and we might also be dealing with date and time, right? So in this section, we'll learn to create these different data types, and we'll also learn how we can test if a variable has a particular data type, right? So head down to RStudio, and here you create a new file. All right, so we'll call it as data types. All right, so now we'll try to look at the different data types. Like as I mentioned, we might have integers, numeric or double, which is basically numbers with decimal values. Then we might have text or string, and then logical values, which are basically true, false. And then we might be dealing with categorical data, and finally date or time. Okay, so let's start with the first part, right, which is numbers. Now if I create a variable x and assign it the value 1, right, it'll print out 1 here. Now let us test the data type of x, right? And to do that, we'll use the class function. Right, and here it says numeric, right? Here it said numeric or double is for those numbers which have decimal values. Now here 1 doesn't have decimal values, but it is still being treated as a data type numeric. So in R, whenever you create numbers, irrespective of whether they are integers or whether they have decimal values or not, they'll be treated as data type numeric. Now what we do for integers is we'll create another variable y, right? And then I want to create the same number 1, but this time I will add a capital L next to the number, right? So let us run this part and check the data type of y. Now you can see y is being treated as integer, right? So same number, here we didn't use any L along with 1, and it was being treated as numeric. Here I have added a capital L next to the number, and it is being treated as an integer. So whenever you want to create integer specifically, then use the capital letter L along with the number. Now there is another way to do this. I will show that to you shortly, but let us continue exploring these data types. Now we'll move on to string, right? So let me say I want to create a variable my name, and I will assign it the value jovial. Right, so whenever you create text or string values, ensure that they are enclosed in single or double quotes. You can use either of them, either single or double quotes, but if you use a single quote in the beginning, ensure that you use the same in the end as well. Right, so let us run this, and here we'll print out this value. Right, so here you can see the text, but one thing that you can also observe is that now it is enclosed in double quotes, right? So whenever you create a variable which has text or string, a value assigned to it, it will be printed within single or double quotes, and it will be known as character data. So we'll use class function here and test the data type of my name, right? So it shows character. All right,